Ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited today to have someone I'm very excited to talk to. She's would you call yourself an influencer?
I usually say content creator.
A content creator. I don't want to offend you with the I word. A content creator from the University of Ohio. Do I have that right?
Ohio University.
Ohio University. Becca Moore, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I
Cheers.
love your show.
Yes.
Thank you for the coffee, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
Just spill tea. I don't know what camera I'm looking at.
All
Spill tea, not beer.
Back here. Hey, how are you?
Yeah,
Cheers.
there's so many.
Yeah, thanks for joining me.
Crazy
You're doing
setup.
peppermint mocha, which is a wise. That's a choice you can do in your early to mid 20s. I feel
Why?
like once you get older, you can't be going with the 4 shots of peppermint and mocha. It's just too much.
It's a treat. I don't know. Usually I drink black coffee.
Is today a treat? Getting to do driving with Dave?
Yeah.
I first heard of you on Nick Viall's show when your clip became a part of my soundboard where you said like, oh, this is going to be a Dave Neal clip. And immediately I was like, oh, who's that? We got a fan over there? What's going on?
What did I say? I don't even remember.
I don't even remember. I just remember you're the voice behind a clip I often play, which is you just saying this is going to be a Dave Neal clip.
Really?
So now we've got a Becca Moore video.
Here's the thing. I love Bachelor Nation or whatever. I used to watch the show, but I kind of I only watch Bachelor in Paradise now. But
why is that?
Because I feel like I know too much. Like, I don't know. I've just become friends with people that were on the show. Like, a lot of my friends have been on the show randomly now. And I just don't feel like... I feel weird watching it when I know, like, behind the scenes.
How the sausage is made.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're very Bachelor adjacent. How does that happen?
Which is actually funny. I was in casting when I was, like, 21.
So, is that...
I didn't make it on the show, though.
But you were in casting for it to be on The Bachelor. That would have been so young.
I know, it was too young.
What are you now, like 24?
I'm 25.
25. Okay, you're approaching the age that does well on the show.
Right, and I think now if I went on, it would have been a more appropriate time, but at the time, I mean, even like my video submission that they had me, I thought I was going to be on the show for sure. Like they were telling me, the way they were like telling me, they were like, are you free in the next week to like get on a plane?
Whoa.
And I was like, oh my God, yeah. So then I was a bartender at the time. Again, like I was just so young, and I was like going into work, and I was like, "This is my last day." Never. And then I kept going.
Who was
back
the Bachelor? Did you know?
I think it was going to be Clayton, so it was going to be on Susie's season.
Oh, that would have been fun. Would he be your type?
No.
No, not your type.
No, I don't.
There you go. Now you're from the Midwest in Ohio. What was the journey that got you from Ohio to Los Angeles?
Well, actually, I lived in Nashville 2 years ago now, because I was writing for Total Frat Move.
Okay.
Total Sorority Move. I was like a blogger there. And then, I was bartending during COVID. I was about to do after I graduated, I was about to do a 9 to 5, but they found my Instagram and they did not like my Instagram.
Really?
And I had like 3,000 followers at the time. I don't really know why.
The corporate job didn't like your Instagram?
Yeah. I was gonna be a recruiter, a tech recruiter.
And they didn't because...
Well, they didn't. It's not that they didn't. They hired me. I was about to start, and it was like a week before I was about to start, and I was posting a lot of like bikini pictures at the time.
As you do, yeah.
I still do. Like, I don't know, but they told me that in order to like, they asked me to like make my account private and change my name on it from Rebecca Moore, or from Becca Moore to like Rebecca.
So it wouldn't like come back to them.
Yeah, and
How
then
strange.
and then I went on LinkedIn and I found the guys that were about to start the same job, and they had bathing suit pictures.
Yeah, that's. I mean, with people that get into like teaching and stuff, and they like talk about protecting their identity and protecting their image, and I'm like, I don't know.
Teaching is different though. But.
Yeah, but it's like, why is it though? Like, why can't someone have a bikini photo? Like, that's what you wear in the water. I don't understand.
Right. And so I think that made me like. I think that like fueled my personality today, because
to continue pushing
against like to be like, men suck. Like, why are they allowed to do everything and we're like a slut if we post the same thing? You know?
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's the world, and in some ways it's changing. But if you're coming from, I don't know if the Midwest has more purity culture, but yeah, you do see that. And I mean, take it from me, I don't anything corporate. Whether it's not, no one's going over my social media, but when it comes to like being told what to do, I quickly learned like I do not want to be told what to do.
Exactly,
what day I have to work, what day I can like apply to have off. And it's so funny, it's like I probably work harder now, but that's because it's like for my own good. It's my own equity. It's not for like someone
Right.
else's dream job or dream car.
Definitely the hardest job I've ever had was a bartender, and I definitely don't work as hard as I did at that time. It's just like a really like strenuous job.
That's a
running
job where
around.
you're going to get hit on a lot too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of part of the gig, right?
Yeah, I worked at like a very like female, like it was all girls bartending, and it was awesome.
What was the place?
It was called Town Hall. Shout out to
Town
you, Town
Hall.
Hall, Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, I wonder. Oh my gosh. Well, you wouldn't have been. Now this is going to show my age because I was there like 10 years ago in Columbus. I was there, excuse me, by myself for a gig. So I was there for like 4 days, and I just found 1 or 2 bars, and I went to the same place every day because I would only work for like half an hour a night, and then I would just have like nowhere to go.
What bars did you go to?
It was like in a mall because the comedy club was attached.
Oh, Easton. Was it Easton? Mall?
Probably. It's where the Funny Bone was. So I went to like Bar Louie, like just corporate.
Yeah. It sounds like Easton, yeah.
So you've got what I think is one of the most interesting stories and most uplifting stories I've ever heard. I want to tease that because I don't want to talk about it just yet. But how do you? So you went to Nashville and then made your way to Los Angeles. What
Yeah.
was the leap like, and was it after you had finished working at Total Sorority Move? Because you were podcasting for them as well, right?
Yeah, I quit pretty early on, right when like it was just kind of me being like, I mean, I think the guys were getting paid more than we were, and I was like annoyed with that too. I don't know if that's true. I think maybe I just convinced myself of that. I don't really know.
Could have been.
But, and then I was like starting to make, my TikTok was taking off when I was living in Nashville, and I was able to like make my entire income off of brand deals. So I was like, why don't I just quit? Like, I hate this job, so no offense. Totally.
No, but I think that's great. You started to find that you were making some money. We've had some other TikTok and Instagram sort of content creators that, once you get that first paycheck, you go,
I was
man.
like done immediately. The second it was like, it was like the highest number I had ever gotten a paycheck for. And I was like, I'm going to do this full
What was the
time forever.
amount? What was your first, like?
I think my first brand deal was, my first just one TikTok was 6,000.
Nice.
And that was like a lot. That's a lot of money.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially, you're 20, 21 at the time.
I don't know if that was my first brand deal, but I think that was like the one I was like, all right, I can do this full time.
Did you, were you eager to just negotiate a low amount at first? Were you
Yes,
just like,
I was taking deals for like, oh my God, no, that was not my first brand deal. Yeah, I was taking deals at the beginning for like $400, and I thought that was a huge amount because that is, I mean, at the time, I was making like no money. I was and I was super poor growing up.
Oh, yeah.
So any amount of money to me was a lot. Like if I had $200 in my bank account for the longest time, I was like rich. Like I was like, time to go shopping.
I talk about this a lot. There's a book that Marianne Williamson wrote called The Law of Divine Compensation. And it's about like not being grossed out by money and knowing that it's like money's not the root of all evil. Like money can be, you can make a lot and receive a lot and cut out the middleman and all these things. And I think social media shows you that. Like they're not paying you $6,000 because they're losing money.
They have a ton of money, that company did.
Yeah, you build your audience and then they're able to capitalize off of that, and it's kind of win-win. So when were you like full-time, this is what I'm going to do? Like it's like starting with that first deal?
It was around 2 years ago. Like I was living in Nashville right after I quit Total Frat Move, and then I had to like finish out my lease in Nashville, and then I knew I was moving here, and yeah, then I moved here a year ago, and here I am.
Have you, what's working out better for you, TikTok or Instagram or?
TikTok for sure.
Yes.
I need to post more on Instagram, I think.
What was it that initially, like, did you see your boost with engagement and all that?
It was me. So I do like a thing on TikTok of being like, basically like making like things that men shouldn't be allowed to have. Like I'll be like, I can't even remember. Oh my God, it's my own thing. And I don't even know. I'm like for the girls, and here are some things that I think should be for the girls, not the guys. And then it'll be like running water or like I don't know, sunlight.
So just short, fun, little gender-based stuff.
Yeah, but now I do more like story times, and I talk about like, I don't know, like dating stories.
Like your personal dating stuff? Mm-hmm. Any, like, what's going on? Where are you at now? Single?
I'm the most single I've been in a long time.
The most single?
Yes.
What makes you more single? Like just nothing even in the horizon, or what?
Yeah, literally not. I don't even know. I'm not like, how did you meet your wife?
We met on a movie set.
Oh, a movie set.
Yeah. I was a creepy guy who talked to her.
Well, that's a cute way to meet. For me, I'm mostly on like apps. I'm on like...
Yeah. Are you on Raya?
Yeah.
Raya is obviously big in the news. We were talking about, actually no, Blake Horseman, his account was exposed to be like I don't know if did you hear the story? So it's not a big deal. My personal thought is he probably deleted the app and it popped back up, and everyone becomes a forensic psychologist and like, oh, you couldn't have done that. I'm like, all right, you think he's really cheating? Like, my wife's also pregnant. You think I'm going on dating apps so someone can expose me and ruin my life?
I think he's like a public figure. There's no way.
There's no way. And if you were going to do it, I always like, my wife and I were having this discussion, like, if you were going to cheat, you're going to go find,
you're going to DM someone that, or I don't even know if you're going to DM
or
someone.
like your buddy's going to pull somebody from the
you're
VIP
gonna go
room
to
at
a
the
bar.
DJ.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be in person, not like, because then screenshots are
Have you is this an issue with married men? Do like married men hit on you?
No, but
because some people just do well with married. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people are just I don't know if it's want what you can't have, or there's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's that homewrecker energy
it's
that some
happened
people
before.
have.
Wait, are you saying I'm home?
No, I'm saying some people have that energy where like they just go after the thing they can't have, and it's like their own issue.
No, I do not like married men. But I have been hit on by married men, I'm sure. I don't know. But like, I will say I have noticed like guys with girlfriends, like sometimes guys with girlfriends will be in my, like athletes.
Oh.
They'll DM me. And then I'll look in it. Or like when I was living in Nashville, country singers that had like long-term girlfriends or like fiancés.
That's gotta be one of the, I've heard the Nashville country scene.
Oh my God, terrible.
Well, we're moving to Nashville.
You are?
Bought a house
God,
there.
It's so fun.
We're working on it. We got the house.
Like full time, you want to live there?
Well, we're gonna move there. We trust me when I say LA was not kind to us when it came to home buying. It's just like
buying a home here.
So we're getting a home 4 times the size, for the same price.
Right.
So I don't know if it'll be long term, but we're gonna move a few months before the baby's due, and we'll have the room to build a nursery and all these things.
That's a good place to raise
we
kids.
wish we could have stayed here. We love all the hikes we do around town, the beaches. It's just like it wasn't working out, and with having a baby on the way, we were like, all right, let's get a home. Let's get like an actual home that we can make our own and all that. But so it's kind of funny. We're ships passing in the night. So you go to Coachella. This is where your story starts off. Was it this past Coachella or the year before?
It was the year before.
All right, so walk us through this story. Did you got robbed?
Yeah.
Or you had your purse stolen?
Yeah, I got robbed. Like, he went in my purse and he took it was like a guy that was kind of hitting on me.
So you met a guy out at a bar somewhere during Coachella?
It was during Coachella, like at Coachella.
At Coachella?
Yeah.
And he's hitting on you. Is he a good-looking dude?
Yeah. He's actually, I mean, you're going to have to bleep this out, but he's on a reality show right now. Well, you don't have to bleep this part out, but I'll tell you which one it is.
All right, tell me and I'll bleep it out.
Okay. He's on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he robbed you?
Yes. I don't know what to say.
I'm not going to defend him, but is there a chance he didn't rob you?
No, he did. I think he was on drugs. I think he was on something.
What did he steal from you?
He took my my phone, my credit card, and my rental car keys. He wasn't doing it to be malicious. Like, no, he was obviously malicious, but he wasn't doing it to like have that like for himself. I think he was doing it. He told someone, because I was asking everyone like, has anyone seen this guy? And they were like, well, he said, well, the reason I knew. Basically, this is a long-winded way of me saying.
Please go as long-winded as possible. We got time.
The reason I knew it was him was because someone said, but that guy that you were talking to did say that he was going to steal your stuff so that you had to talk to him in the morning, but I thought he was kidding.
Oh, so it might have been like a
like
weird
he was trying to do a flirty thing.
Oh, wow.
And then I was stranded. Like, I lived in Nashville at the time, so I had no way to tell anyone. And I was with my manager, though, and I was crying. Like, I was like, oh my God.
And what do you have on you? So
just my empty purse.
An empty
purse.
purse.
My lip gloss.
You didn't do your lip gloss. So you have an empty purse.
I can do my lip gloss.
You have an empty purse in the world where we all just have credit cards.
Right.
ID.
At least if I just had one of those things, I would have been fine. Like, if I had my rental car keys, I could drive somewhere.
I always think about that. Like, even if someone stole my wallet, I can still buy Starbucks through my phone.
I had my ID. All I had was my ID.
Okay, you have an ID and lip gloss. Yeah. And you find out your purse is stolen. Did you try to hunt the guy down, or was it?
Yes, I did. all night, like for like 3 hours, we like walked around looking for this guy. I never saw him again, but I knew what he looked like, didn't know his name. But anyway, so then I filed a police report, and I'm really getting ahead of myself.
No worries.
Then I go to my manager's hotel room, because I didn't remember what hotel room I was staying in, and because I didn't have my phone. So, and I didn't know like the address. So I stayed in her hotel room, but she had a flight back to Canada at like 7 a.m. the next morning. So we wrote down the address to a Sprint store so I could go get a new phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I go downstairs and like to the concierge in the morning, and I tell them the situation, and I have my manager's card number or something. I don't know. I had written down some like information to get myself an Uber. So the hotel concierge ended up buying me an Uber and like giving me a granola bar and stuff like that.
Wow, nice
And
hotel concierge.
by the way, I was sober when I got robbed. It's not like I was just like partying too hard. Like, I don't want people to think that I just like lost my stuff.
Yeah.
So no, I was literally like sober. But then, so I get in the Uber, and my Uber is Raul, his name, and like he was like, I remember he was just asking a bunch of questions, and I was like just so stressed out that I was like, no. And he kept being like, why do you need to go to the Sprint store? Like, what happened? And I was like, oh my God. And because my car was getting towed out of
he's being like the chatty I used to be an Uber driver, so I understand.
Yeah, he was being chatty, and I was just so like almost about to cry the entire time, because I was like, oh my God, I'm like fucked. Like, what do I do? So then I could tell, but like I could tell like he kind of felt bad for me, and I kind of hated that feeling. So I was just like, ugh, like everything's fine. Like I'm fine. Everything's fine. So then I go into the Sprint store, and I was like, thank you so much. I asked for a new phone, and they literally couldn't give me a new phone because I didn't have any of my information. Like, they were like, well, I don't think that was the right place to go to get a new phone.
Yeah, how are you going to pay for it? You're going to barter
right,
I'll give you this lip gloss.
Yeah, no, I thought that they could like pull up my mom's information. I don't really know what my plan was, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good scenario. You've got a billing credit card, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. And so, I thought that they could get my mom's phone number so I could call my mom. Actually, I knew my mom's phone number.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, like, you only get to know 3-4 phone numbers,
yeah, and
right?
I knew my mom's. So
okay, how many phone numbers do you know?
2, my mom and dad.
That's it?
Yeah, literally. But I did know my mom and dad, so I thought that I could call them and they could, like, order it off of the phone. Right. I don't know. So that was my plan. Did not work. The Sprint store was not having it. They, like, wouldn't give me a phone. So I go outside. I was like, okay, well, I need to get a new Uber. But I looked out in the window, and Raul was, like, waiting for me. He was, like, outside, like, he didn't leave.
And you didn't do the Uber, obviously, through your device.
No, it was through the concierge.
The concierge is running the bill up.
Yeah. So he turns off the thing. Like, he's just, at this point,
turns the meter
free.
off.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I mean, no one does that. Like, I've driven people around for hours, and you don't turn the meter off.
Right. Like, and
it's like he's got to make his money, too.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for waiting for me. He was like, I think we should go to the police station. And I was like, good idea. Like, let's do that.
Okay, so at this point, Raul is technically no longer an Uber driver. He's your driver.
Like, he's just driver.
He's a friendly guy.
And I trusted him right away for some reason. Like, I was just so calm when I was with him. And
guess you didn't really have a choice.
Yeah. So, but I know, true. But we called my mom on his phone at this point, and we tracked down. She was able to track my phone, and we located it at a house. It was at like an Airbnb kind of style house, or like a townhome. But we couldn't get in unless we had the police with us. So we had to go to the police station.
Is he back at the concert the next day at Coachella?
This is Monday, so the day after.
Okay, so this is when everyone's leaving.
Yeah,
okay.
Everyone was gone. So we could see what the house looked like, but anyway, we had to go to the police. So the police escorted us to the Airbnb, and then we went, and they like let us go inside because the Airbnb owner, they like contacted him somehow. I don't really know how we got in the house, but we were with the police, and then we found my phone under the bed.
Had the guy already checked out?
Yeah, and then we looked on the names, and we found the guy's name.
But that's real shitty that even if he was playing the gag in the first place, that he would ditch the phone.
Right, he left the phone in the Airbnb, and in the case was my credit card. So he didn't take my credit card. He didn't take my stuff.
He
just
gosh.
I think he just felt weird that he had done that, and he like wanted to like leave and get out.
Yeah, a little like morning after hangover regret.
Right. So that, and then oh my God, and then he like took me to dinner. Raul got me dinner because I hadn't eaten this is like an all day thing. Like we had so many stops that we had to make. And like, just like going back and forth from the house. So then he takes me to dinner, and he's like, he bought the dinner, by the way. This is before we had my credit card and my phone. So he was like, when's your birthday? And I was like, June 16th. And he was like, oh my God, that's the day that my daughter was diagnosed with cancer. And I was like, you're kidding me. Like, your daughter has cancer and you're helping me all day, like, for free. And he was like, yeah, that, like, she's 17 and she... Do
you know what kind of cancer or roughly what?
It was, oh my God.
It's sorry if you don't know. I just didn't know.
I think it was like
lymph nodes. Okay.
Or something like that.
Lymphoma.
Yeah. Something like that. I'm sorry. You might want to edit that out. I should definitely know that.
No worries.
But, yeah, so she was 17 and they were, I guess, struggling to pay for her medical treatment. I mean, her bills were insane. So he was, like, Uber driving to try to get enough money to, like, pay her bills. And so I was like, oh my God, I can help you. And he was like, what are you talking about?
So you knew in the moment that you'd be able to try to repay
Yeah.
it.
I didn't think about it until he talked about cancer, and I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to, like, post about this on TikTok, and I'm like, I'll start a fundraiser. And he was like, okay, sure, like, whatever.
And what do you think would have been your biggest goal? Like, what do you think
my goal
could have
was
come from
$1,000.
$1,000
was my goal, and I donated the first $300 because I wanted to get it.
You started it off for $300.
Yeah, and then the second I posted it, it like.
Okay, so hold on. So the second you're about to post it, is this the next day or when?
This is like 4 days later.
Okay, wrap me up with Raul. So you find your stuff, and then let me turn that up. Sorry. You find your stuff at this house, and then are you done? Like, did you find the key to your rental car at that point?
No, we never found it. He took me to the rental car office, like the Enterprise or whatever it was. I don't know. And we tried to tell them. He was just taking me everywhere that I needed to go. Like he was trying to tell them I needed a new key, or like I got robbed, so I shouldn't have to pay for a new key. And he was like negotiating with the people, and they were like,
showed your police report.
My police report.
Yeah, because they charge you $500 for the key.
Right, like a crazy amount. And I was like, oh my God, I'll just pay it. Like, because he was like arguing with the people. Like, in my defense, he was like, she got robbed. Look at the police report. And they're like, I don't know. Like, we would have to file other report. I don't know. Anyway, so then oh my God, so no, he helped me get a new rental car because I had my credit card at this point. So then I got a new rental car, and then he like took me to my car, and then I told him I was going to help him. And I don't think he understood that I had like TikTok followers at the time.
And how big was your following at the time?
At the time, it was around like 700,000, I think.
Okay.
600,000.
And where is it right now? Just
1.3 million.
Whoa, excuse me. Look at you. So you've pretty much doubled in size since then.
Yeah.
All right. So he's given you this sort of good faith. He's helped you out, and he's also let you know about his daughter who's got cancer. Did he explain to you like where she was in treatment, like how she was doing?
Yeah, at the time she was going through chemo.
So just brutal. Just
a terrible time.
Teen daughter going through chemo, brutal, just everything I've heard about chemo is just actually...
Especially as a teenager, it's like I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, right? I'm actually interviewing my buddy Alex Hooper tomorrow, who's a comedian who just survived cancer. And
oh my God.
you can only, everyone tries to say how optimistic they'll be, but like I get a little food poisoning and I'm on my deathbed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm so dramatic, and I was being so dramatic that entire day. I mean, I was crying. I didn't have any. I felt stranded, and I was like, didn't have a phone, and I was crying over my phone when this 17-year-old, and he's helping me for free all day. Like,
yeah, no, I totally get it. There's a guilt that comes with thinking your problems are bad, and then you hear about someone else who's got it objectively much worse, and then you feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, like I felt
but it's
terrible.
okay to feel that way.
And he didn't bring it up until the end, until we were at dinner. I was like, why did you say that? Like,
I would have lost it. I would have been like, well, fuck me. And my stupid phone.
I know.
But it does show you that there are issues greater than yours. And I don't like to be like toxically optimistic. Like some people are like, well, there's always, it's like, yeah, sometimes your day just sucks. You got robbed. You're the victim. Your day sucked. Yeah. You just then met this guy has almost like, almost kind of feels like a guardian angel in a weird way. The guardian Uber angel. So a couple days go by, you say bye to him, do you exchange information?
Yeah, I got because I wanted to Venmo him a bunch of money, like, for driving me around.
For those margaritas and life.
We got marks, that's the thing. And so I got his number, I got his Venmo, and I told him to follow me on TikTok, and I was going to make a video. And then I made the video, and then, yeah, the second I posted it, it went, I had no idea it would...
It immediately goes?
I thought that it would be kind of like a boring video, and I thought no one would care, because it was like, kind of like hard to explain, like in a little video.
Yeah.
So I didn't think, and I've never done any like charity, anything. Like I've never done a fundraiser.
You explained everything you just told me.
Yeah, and like short.
Showed a photo of him.
Mm-hmm. And his daughter.
I think that's what can really, that evidence of like, here's his daughter.
Yeah.
And I think there's something very special about the internet wanting to see justice come in different ways. And in this case, the justice is, this man was so nice to you, how can we repay him? So what happens next? You just start refreshing? Did you start like getting this dopamine hit as you see the donations come in?
Yes, I could not, I was like, I felt bad asking for $1,000, and then I raised it. It hit $1,000 in probably like 15 or 20 minutes.
Wow.
Insane. And then it hit 10, so I kept raising the goal. I raised the goal to like 5,000 and then 10,000, and then I did it by 5 because I was like, there's no way it's going to keep going. And then in 24 hours, it hit $100,000.
Wow. $100,000.
Yeah.
And then what did it do from there? Like, what did you got some press? I mean, this became a big
so then the
feel-good
press
story.
started picking it up, and then it was just like, oh my God, it was like a whirlwind. Like we were doing so many interviews for like a week, and then it ended up hitting, the final amount that it hit was $250,000.
$250,000. I got goosebumps. Yeah. That's wild.
I know.
And
that was the best thing ever.
You know, there was a study that was done, and they said like when you donate to somebody, a certain amount of the feel-good drugs hit you, like it feels good to donate. But they also did a study that when you donate, you feel as good as the person receiving. But the interesting part of the study was that when a stranger watches you donate, they also feel good. And it's the vicarious idea that we want, like as humans, we want to see good things happen. So people that are listening now are going to feel good hearing about Raul, the stranger, in the generosity that came from your audience, just because you were able to share your platform with a story that it inspired people.
Well, it's still open, by the way. People can still donate to him because, their family is just like the best family ever. So if anyone wants to, they can. It's called Raul, like the Torres family. I have to I'll link it.
We'll put it for sure. And so you go to meet the family? Like what happened? Okay, the first day goes by. It's at 100,000. Is he like what?
Yeah. His whole family was like, what? Like what is going on?
Because by all means, he's driving Uber, which you make $15 to $20 an hour. I don't know. People think Uber drivers cash in. You don't make much money. It's tough on your car. It's tough on your body. It's a real rough job. So he's clearly working real hard to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And then you get a 6-figure chunk.
Yeah. Like I FaceTimed them that night that it hit 100,000, and I got to like meet them over FaceTime. And then I think my first time meeting them was, we went to Great America. I think it's called. What's it called? The amusement park in San Francisco.
Oh, no, not sure.
I don't know, but we went to like an amusement park, and it was so fun. Like I stayed with their family for a couple days, and I think also getting to meet them was like the most rewarding thing that's ever happened. Like getting to like see the people that the internet has helped me help was like just like I could die now. Like I could die.
Because the truth is, when people are in over their head with their own issues, it's easy to forget about others. You could have really just gone on and been happy you met Raul and not repaid it. You could have done that. And I think the reward is that you, in a weird way, you probably had no clue that you would have ever grown your following in part because of this field. Right?
I thought people wouldn't care.
Yeah, like it has to be part of. Did you get a big bump in followers right after this because people just started to see this story?
Yes, I did.
And of course, it's like that's just what's going to happen when you get kind of hit like super viral level like that, like you did.
Right, but I just feel like I'm a different person now. Like I don't even know. I feel like the universe is like helping me out because of that day. Like there's no, like, how lucky did I get to have an Uber driver wait for me outside of a store for free, and then take me to the police station, take me to like he was like just driving me around for free without knowing that I could help him at all in return.
I think it's a good sign of what can exist with karma, in that, you know, it was sort of magnified by the internet, where at no time in the past would his story have really been news, but you were able to tell the story through your own damsel in distress saved by an Uber. I mean, it just has such a great story, but it's not over. So at this point, you meet the daughter. She's still going through chemo. What was the update? Like, where's the timeline from there?
Then in October of last year,
2022, October.
Yeah, she beat cancer.
Amazing.
She's done with chemo now. But obviously she has some like outstanding like health like issues that are like just like as a result of going through all the treatments that she's gone through over the years.
And was there like a party or?
Yeah, I went up to they live in Fresno, so I went to Fresno and stayed with them for the cancer part, for like the beating cancer. She got to ring the bell, the chemo bell. She was done with chemo. And then after that, like I ended up going to Mexico with them, to Tijuana, because they were at the time, I don't even know, they just wanted to show me their like hometown, and he was opening a taco shop at the time, which is on hold, so he's not right now, but and then I spent Thanksgiving with them this year.
First year away from your family?
Yeah, first year.
And did they like were they just like, hey, you're gonna be in town, come by, or?
Yeah, like they invite me to everything, like, and then they were like, "Oh my god, you should stay until Saturday and then come to a quinceañera with us." And I was like, "I don't know."
Oh,
like,
is he from Mexico or?
Yeah, but he lives in Fresno now.
Okay, so you're just this white chick from the Midwest that shows up. So in some crazy way, you become each other's guardian angel.
I don't know.
In a way, just through.
I'm in their family now, like. My parents talk to their parents.
I was gonna say, what do your parents think of all this?
They love Raul, like they literally love it. And then when I went back to Ohio, they did like a news story about it. Like they went to my old workplace, like the workplace because I got fired as a bartender. So they did a news story where they took the cameras and we all had to go, like we interviewed the boss that fired me.
Wow.
And he was so funny.
Why'd he fire you?
At town hall. Because I was flying back and forth to Nashville, and I was just like, I kept getting the free passes like at the time to like I wouldn't show up to work, like, and I would be like, I was just a bad worker.
Well, you know, so
worker.
Your story's interesting because you've got someone like Mr. Beast. I don't know if you know the Mr. Beast story. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah.
With like his full story. So, I mean, he was just starting off by giving out $100 bills, $20 bills. He was tipping wait staff a higher amount than he needed to, and people really took to seeing the generosity, and the more money that would come in, the more money that went out, and it just became like he became one of the he's one of the most recognizable people in the world. Do you know what I mean?
I had no idea how big he had gotten.
And even in the last year, he's quadrupled in size. Because all of his videos are translated into like 20 different languages, and I mean it's quite incredible. But it's a similar story where he just, I think he learned early on that he could play this internet game and be like a little magnet for people who want to do good. And it's hard sometimes for GoFundMe's, like my GoFundMe that I have for my legal funds. I don't know if you've caught up on this story, but I'm being brought to court over a Bachelor story.
What?
Oh, you don't know this? It's a whole thing.
Is it about the Clayton thing?
Yes.
You're going to court?
Yeah, she's suing me for harassment.
What?
Got it. What's up now? But my audience was, they know I make good money. Like they know that I'm doing okay, but they also, not all of them, but at the time some knew I was pregnant, having a baby soon and all these things. And they knew I was being taken to court through a frivolous means that was meant to silence me. That's exactly what it was. Shut up or I'm going to sue you. And of course I haven't shut up because you can't shut me up. I'll be in the prison like, who wants to listen? Live show, Cell Block B, live stand-up. But either way, they raised money for me right away. And by all means, I didn't need, my situation was nothing, obviously, like losing your health and all of that. But my situation was one where people wanted to help out. And when you're on the internet, sometimes the best way to help out is with your money. And people wanted to do that. And they got my, I needed like a $10,000 retainer for my lawyer because it is not cheap out here. Which is what I've learned. Medicine and lawyers are not cheap. So they were like, yeah, and they wanted to get me. And again, I didn't want anyone to starve who needed the money or anything like that, but it's like people want to do good. And when you have your platform that you have and you can expose people to a greater cause, it's like everyone should donate to like St. Jude's or whatever, but you don't always get to see the immediate reward that way. And I think people really want to see immediate rewards. That's why, like on my channel this year, every year we do a Amazon wish list. So we get single moms and single dads and people that are kind of struggling for Christmas. And our goal is to try to get about 24 of them. So we do it for 12 days. We feature 2 families a day, and we just share their Amazon wish list so that they can have kids. Because people like, the first year we did Toys for Tots, which was great. We raised like 12 grand or something. It was amazing. But you just don't know exactly where that money's going, even though I'm sure it's going to good places. To know that that somebody will be featured, they'll have their Amazon wish list featured, and then 2 days later they send me a photo with a mound of boxes at their front door. Like that makes me feel good. That makes the audience feel good, and then they feel good. So it's just like a win-win for all. I
know. I think I want to like start, I don't know, maybe like one day I'll start a nonprofit or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something. You just need to get robbed at Coachella next year.
Well, maybe me and Raul can start one together. I don't
Wouldn't
know.
that be great?
Be cute? That would be like awesome.
Becca
I don't know what
Raul's
the cause
taco
is.
Shop.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So where's the rudder pointed right now for you? You're young. You've got your followings kind of big. Like, what's next? What are you like trying to do?
I'm writing a book.
Great. About this?
No, it's like about dating stories, like little like short ones. But this is the first time I've told anyone out. I mean, like publicly told people.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I mean, I'm in the very beginning stages. I just like decided that I was going to with my management like a month ago. So I've just started writing, but it's gonna be like short dating stories to make people feel better about their
from your own personal.
Yeah, like my own.
Any that are worth noting now?
So many. I don't even know. There's
where would you put yourself on the spectrum of, are you a Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
So do you fall for just Mr.
Wait,
Wrong?
what was the spectrum?
Well, I was going to say, some people are avoidant and they're kind of like, they're the ones to run away from relationships. Some people are the ones that kind of pursue it, maybe overly to hide whatever issues they have. Like we all have kind of different things we're looking for, but is there a trend to why?
Yeah, I used to be so into like the worst guys ever, like terrible guys, just like complete fuckboys. And I was in a sorority, and I was like always dating frat guys, and I was also in a terrible relationship a year ago. That was just during the Coachella stuff. This guy was insane. Like actually, like there has to be something wrong with him. Like no offense, I hope he's not listening.
Well, you might get sued for harassment,
I don't know.
just like I am. We can go to court together.
It was terrible. Like anyway, so a lot of it. I mean, it's just.
How are you meeting these guys?
I met that guy through my manager. Actually,
Oh, that's not good.
I know. Well, she had no idea that.
She had no idea.
He was like, there was something wrong. I think it only shows up for him in relationships. He has like an attachment something.
Yeah,
like, he's super anxious all the time about me leaving him.
Oh, so like jealous if you don't respond right away.
Severely jealous.
Oh man.
And it was.
I've had that, and I've had that myself, and it for me never surfaced as like overly controlling, but it surfaced as sadness, and I would get anxious if I started thinking maybe they're, it's like it's hard to play it cool when you like someone. But not to defend him, and that's something he has to like learn to work on. But do you have any like attachment issues where do you like fall hard or? Yeah,
I think now. Well, after that, I had to take like a year off of dating. So I just recently. I mean, I've had a couple like little flings in between me and the crazy man, and it's been. I think I'm just like really picky now. I think I'm more avoidant now. I used to be a little bit more anxious, and like I would find a guy and then decide that my worth when I don't even know, I was like 22, like 19 to 22, I would be like, if I can't get this guy to love me, then what's the point? Like I'm not cute, like stuff like that. I would turn on myself, and then I swung so hard the other way after dating that guy that like I'm like a little bit avoidant where I'm not really interested in anyone. Like,
so aside from dating apps, where else are you entertaining meeting men?
I mean, I meet people in real life, but sometimes people DM me, and then I'm like, I'll talk to them for a little bit, and then I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It's hard for me to give someone a chance because it's like the whole. What if I get like it's just a whole date is like a whole night? You know what I mean? Like a date is a night.
You don't want to wait. Yeah, you don't want to waste your time
getting ready.
Because anyone can polish up their Instagram and look
good.
And
then Instagram and Raya, like they can make their Raya look really cute and like and then you meet them in person and you're like, oh god.
I was always this is when I lived in New York, but I was on dating apps, specifically Tinder. It was actually new. It was before. It was kind of like the fuck app. I mean, it was like when Tinder first came out, it was like marketed as like you're here for like casual issues, and then people started dating and getting married on it, and it kind of became more mainstream. But I just always found it way easier to meet people in person, and then just know right away whether or not you vibed with them. But that's still hard to do because.
And I'm kind of picky. I think I have like a specific type. And I'm like, I don't know. It's hard. So I'm like, but then I'm like, if I'm single for the rest of my life, I feel like I would be fine. Like,
have you met anyone through the Raul story? Like, has anyone like slid into your DMs because of that?
Yeah, but like never, not anyone could. It'll be like
just like show up with an extra phone for you. Like, here you go, just in case.
It's never anyone. I mean, guys DM me all the time. It's just never any hot guys. Like it's always just like or like they're kind of like fuckboys. Here's the problem with the internet is that there's so many options that there's like multi-option syndrome where everyone thinks they can do better. Everyone puts on their best version of themselves so that when you meet in person, nobody can live up to the standard they've set. You know what I mean? What do you mean?
Like, I'm never going to be as good as I could make myself look online. You know, I've got my own shit. But like in person, I can probably maybe have a little bit more humor, and I don't know. I just think I'm better off in the flesh than whatever I could try to live up to, which is like your best photos and this and that. And I think that because everyone is online, we're instantly comparing our options against the internet, which is like endless. Not against what's actually available in our marketplace. Does that make any sense?
Right, and like there's no way, like, and then they end up being single until they're like 40 because they're like, and that might happen to me honestly, but I will say that guys are way nicer to me now since after I became a TikToker than they were before, probably because they're scared I'll make a TikTok about them.
Oh, you could expose? That is very Taylor Swift of you.
My goal isn't to expose guys, like it's more just like, every time I make a TikTok about a guy you know how Taylor Swift though, she can write a song about a guy and then it's kind of cool to have a song written about it.
Yeah, sure.
But if I make a TikTok about someone, I'm like the devil. Like
maybe
they're like,
you'll make a
weird.
TikTok about driving with Dave. Maybe,
I will.
I don't know if there's anything interesting enough here. Can I get to your place through here?
No, you should probably turn
And
around.
I probably shouldn't no, people aren't going to know where you are.
No,
have you had to deal with any stalkers?
No, but I had to change my Uber name from Becca to Megan.
Do I got to talk to this person to go through?
Oh God, I don't know. I've never been.
Oh, sorry, I'm just turning around.
Go ahead.
Thanks so much. All right, look at that, folks. We're doing this live. Every video I do, I always end up like dead end somewhere. Like I went the wrong way.
I would never be able to like not pay to drive and.
I used to come in this place when I was doing Uber because there's a little park where you can do pull-ups and push-ups because you're sitting in your car all day, so I just like double park and just like do a little workout and go. Uber driving sucks. It's a real rough job. You're vacuuming vomit out of your back seats.
Ew. And people are probably terrible.
I mean, I've driven people around where they're stalking people and just completely on blow, trying to, like late at night McDonald's or, I've driven crazies around.
Ew.
But, if the late night rides are usually the ones that pay well because the surge rate. And that's probably why Raul drove to Coachella, right? Because there was probably good money to be made that weekend.
But the crazy part is he was actually done for he was so tired he just wanted to go home that day. And then he got one notification and it was me. It was my ride. And he was like, I don't want to do it. And then he was like, something inside of him was like, no, I'll just do one more. And like, thank God he did. Like,
when you get your Uber notification, it'll show your little image and then it'll have like a 10-second countdown. And as a driver, if you don't hit accept, it goes to the next driver. And there is that moment where you go, do I want this one? And you're hoping, maybe the ride will take me closer to home. You know what I mean? So Yeah, I can just imagine there were some forces working that brought you two together.
I know, it made me believe in, like, the universe, like, everything happens for a reason.
And so often, I guess it's also a good reminder for others out there to look for your Raouls and to look for that connective tissue, because I think a lot of times the universe and whatever people want to believe in, God or whatever, is providing us the solution. And sometimes we're too busy in our own way to actually see what's right in front of us.
What do you mean?
Like,
that's really profound, but I have no idea what you mean.
I always have like this mantra that it's like I want to not only be provided opportunity, but see it and know that it's there. And too often you might have been having a pity party and just blown Raoul off, and not even being able to know that this is about to be in some way or another life-changing for both of you.
Yeah.
I'll just pull over. I'll pull over up here. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, when I heard your story, I think if I remember correctly, I think I knew you before this happened. And then when I saw the whole...
Because you had made a video about me before, one time.
About this story?
No.
Or about a nick...
No.
What did I make a video about? Now I'm nervous.
I'll bleep out the name, but... Because... I mean, I don't know why I said I'll bleep out the name, but he flew me out when I was 21.
He flew you out to where? And I made a story about that?
Yeah.
What was it about?
Because he flew me out, and then I made a TikTok about it.
Oh.
And
Oh, funny.
And then he like went home with another girl.
Was I mean to you?
No,
okay.
not at all.
I was like, oh
no.
shit.
You were like, everyone's speculating and they're saying on Reddit that it's, and it was. You were right. But obviously I couldn't tell you.
But he was single at the time.
Yeah, he was
okay,
single.
No. Poor bastard.
I know, he's going through the...
So he flies you out. Is this in the book?
I'm for sure probably going to put
So
it in the book.
he flies you out to... And what, to...
No, it was just because we met at Ohio University. He was doing a meet and greet, and I was at the bar that he was at. And I was like, you look like the guy from... And he was like, I am the guy from... And I was like, oh my God.
Oh, funny.
And I thought he was so hot. And then we started DMing, and then, yeah, he flew me out. And then he did not like that I made a TikTok about him, though. He was so mad.
So he flies you out and ends up going home with someone else the night he flew you out?
No, he was coming to town hall in Ohio after he had flown me out because he was doing a big tour or something.
Oh, okay.
And then he ended up at the bar that I worked at. He went home with another girl.
Oh,
and
boy.
I was bragging about him. I thought we were gonna like date.
Is he like your type?
Probably not, but I thought he was cute. Like,
so you thought in your head, like,
because I was 21, I thought we were gonna date.
Like, you were gonna date this guy and
Yeah.
have this little influencer relationship and all that.
Yeah, I wasn't an
Content creator.
influencer at the time. I was just a college kid.
So you were shooting your shot with the old...
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, you have to bleep everything, like all the city and his.
We'll
name.
heavily bleep that out. Okay. It'll be fun. People can figure out what it is.
Yeah, because I'm scared. Because when I made a TikTok about it, he texted me a long text, and he was like, "I will post the entire transcript of our DMs if you don't stop making videos about me." But I've only made 2. I made 2
because it was pretty aggressive towards him. Were you?
No.
I mean.
I'm not an aggressive person. It was just me being like, yeah, I want to come. Like, let's go. Let's do it. Me being like super flirty.
Would you do that now?
No.
I know. Like, would you make a
yeah, I would make a TikTok.
Yeah.
If I go to a city to meet a guy, that's kind of crazy. I'm probably going to end up making a TikTok. But I never said his name, and I never said what show he was on.
You're like my issue I'm having right now that I'm getting sued for. I never said the person's name.
Yeah.
The fuck, people.
And my job is to make content, and that was like a funny thing that was happening and I thought that was a funny story.
I think that's fair. If it's a true story, it's fair.
Yeah.
You know, there's the problem I have is with a lot of the TikTokers who try to expose people.
Right, just to get clout.
And there's like no story.
Right.
Yeah, and there's no story behind it.
They're like, look who slid in my it'll be they liked your story, and then you make an entire TikTok about it.
Yeah, it's like, all right, chill out there, Samantha.
I really wasn't trying to use his fame or like name for views. I was doing the story in itself is crazy. That I was 21.
I'm gonna have to fire up the censor machine on this one.
Yeah, I know.
It's people will go run wild with it. Maybe you'll be in Us Weekly this week.
No.
Well,
I'm sorry to him. I'm sorry to that man.
No, and it's like, look, I mean, everyone.
It was 4 years ago.
He could have been a fuck boy, and then now he's found his one. Like, we've all got seasons in our life.
Right, and I'm sure I'm the villain in someone's story as well.
I think of that all the time.
Yeah, like
all the time.
I don't think he was intending to hurt me. I think he just found a girl at the bar that I worked at that he liked more than me.
Do you have any do you have any actual people where you know you were the villain? Like, you know?
I'm sure.
It's just a crazy...
I wasn't ever crazy. I mean, maybe I was, but I've definitely drunk called some guys.
Well, that's fine.
And like, then, I mean, my ego has been hurt by guys, and so I've been like a little bit bitter towards some.
What a therapy way to put it. My ego is hurt. I mean, did you take a 2x4 to someone's door?
No,
okay,
I've never faked a pregnancy.
Never faked a pregnancy. Oh,
but
boy.
sometimes it would be nice. I wish I could. Like that would be like such a good way to trap a guy for like 9 months.
To fake a pregnancy?
Yeah, you have him for 9 more months.
Well, apparently it happens a lot more than people think.
I know. After this story came up, I keep hearing people say, "Oh, my ex-girlfriend did that too." And I'm like,
a lot of times. I've had exes fake pregnancies, but they told me very quickly. But still, that sucked. It was like an April Fool's, like, I'm pregnant, and then and then after I find out they're not. Like, it wasn't long enough for me to, have a rough night. It was kind of like only for a few moments. But it's a tool that one side can use on the other, but also...
You can't use that, yeah. You can't use it on me, though,
No, I can't say, well, I'm knocked up,
Here's the
because
thing.
if guys could, they would.
Yeah,
like that
they
anxious
would.
avoidant guy that you were dating, he would have pretended to be pregnant if that meant keeping you. Like, because desperate people do desperation.
When the Coachella story was happening and the money was being raised, he threw his phone at the wall and like shattered it because he was like, "You care more about your Uber driver than you care about me," and he like threw it.
He shattered his phone.
Yes.
And you were like, "I got a guy at Sprint who you can go to."
I was like,
what kind of phone was he like due for?
Was
he due for an upgrade at least?
No, and then he had to start calling me off of his old like iPod with an app or something.
Oh my gosh. Yes. He's like on a home iPad. Like,
that is when I knew we had to end. Like we had to break up.
Was that the moment?
No, there were many moments.
Did you feel? I mean, that's crazy.
I'm telling you, that was crazy. And
yeah, some guys don't learn. Like, hey, just because you have big boy muscles doesn't mean you need to use them. Like, we don't need to repatch the drywall because your team lost or whatever.
That I think that made me avoidant because it kind of made me a little bit jaded because I'm like, oh my god, what if another big thing happens in my career? What if the guy gets like insecure again? Because that guy was so cool and normal most of the time. It was just when something big was happening, he was like, like he hated it. So
you broke up how soon after the Uber?
Like 2 months after that. That was like really straining our relationship.
And it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy for him, right?
Yeah.
It's like your own jealousy and your own insecurity can actually repel the person because you didn't have any chill.
I know, and that taught me a lot. I was like, wow, I'm never ever going to be anxious like this in a relationship. Like, and then he ended up coming to Nashville because he lived in Canada. He came to Nashville for my birthday, and then it was my birthday, and he was like yelling at me because a guy started hitting on me.
Oh, you guys were that drunk couple on Broadway? He was.
People probably thought, and I was like, guys, I'm not like this. Like, he is crazy, and then he screamed at me. And it was bad. It was so bad.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but it sounds like you at least learned like what to avoid, which will drastically like sort of start to narrow down your searching for the right guy,
Right.
Like, I hate to say people like should date the wrong guys, but it's like, well, we're all gonna date the wrong people. I dated someone who like couldn't say she would like say she loved me in code. It was very strange. She had this like emotional barrier where she couldn't like fully open up, and then she also couldn't get any of her exes out of her life. And
what?
I honestly wouldn't care if my wife had like an ex she was still friends with. That wouldn't bother me. It was the fact that this girl, then again, this is obviously an ex. This girl had to have all of her exes in her life still. And I was like, that's an issue you need to work on. I'm not, again.
It sounds like she was trying to make you like jealous and try to.
There was some of that. And I think I talked about this on the episode with Nate, where I was like, sometimes when we don't have all the tools of communication, we'll try to use jealousy to see if the other person likes us. And it's like, that's not the way to do it.
I used to do that all the time. I used to always do that.
And
then I learned.
And like what, but like as a woman, what's the what are you doing to make a guy jealous?
I would just like, especially when I was a bartender, I would just let guys hit on me and like flirt with them and You know, like anything I could do. Oh my God. And then I was dating my pizza boss, a boss at my pizza place.
Your pizza boss.
Yeah, worked at this pizza place. This is my first relationship though. I was really young. I was 18 and he was like 26, which was probably
Classic
not good.
pizza relationship
Pizza boss
here,
relationship. But what I would do, because I was going off to college at this time, I would just post pictures with like the boy like on my story. Like me just like pretend like they were my friend. I mean, they were my friends, but I would just like intentionally do that because the only time I started doing that was when I realized that he was starting to have a crush on my friend who I got the job, and she had stayed behind to work there when I had gone to college. So I just started doing any tactic I could think of, which in my head I was like, I feel jealous. I feel like I should try to make him jealous too.
Yeah.
And then
it's a bad things happen. But I mean, did he throw his pizza against the wall like the other boyfriend?
No,
Like whoever you date, they end up throwing shit against the wall. No, look, hey, we all learn stuff, and I'm looking forward. Come back next when you got your book out. Will you do that?
Of course.
Congrats on all of the love and positivity that came from you sharing your story. It's really. I told my wife, I was like, I'm so excited because like she's knows all the stories I'm covering. So I'm like, this is the girl who raised all the money and
oh my God.
$250,000. That's so great.
Yeah, that was like the best thing I'll probably ever do in my life. That was like the best thing ever.
It's you took advantage of a good opportunity, and maybe there's more of that for you on social media.
Well, thank you for having me, though. This is like my dream come true. This is like my Make-A-Wish day.
Well, set the bar higher.